Get to Old Navy 2 days only, today and tomorrow. Get a full 50% off all Old Navy Active for the family. Shorts, tees, leggings, all Old Navy Active is 50% off at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 8/25 to 8/26, excludes in-store clearance.
What AFC North receiver has vaulted himself into the top 12 conversation? Which rookie running back has been packing on the pound since the Combine? And who will be the big movers and shakers in the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship drafts this weekend? We are broadcasting live from the Horseshoe Casino as we join you live from the 2018 Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship live events. Dave the Dillo Gerzak is here. I'm Eric Balkman. Stick around. Your high-stakes fantasy football hour starts now. Hey, bro.
Broadcast live and heard around the world. You are now listening to the most entertaining hour of radio on the planet. It's the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com with your hosts Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak. The High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour is your home for football analysis from the best fantasy players in the world. And now, because no one else was available, here are Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak.
Thank you so much, Rob. Greetings and salutations, all you Balkaholics and Gerzak addicts. Welcome to the latest episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com. I'm your slightly above average host, Eric Balkman, and my co-host is the patron saint of fantasy football, the Dizzle, Dave Gerzak. Coming up on tonight's show, the 2018 Fantasy Football Players Championship Ascendant is named before we sign off, and the 2017 Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship main event champ, Kurt Awe, and I defend our title in the KFFSC auction. Shout out to the chat room right now. Feel free to post any questions you might have in there if you want to connect with us on Twitter. The show is at HSFF Hour. I am at Eric Balkman. Dave is at David Gerzak. You can post on our Facebook page at facebook.com/HSFF Hour as well. And if you want to give us a call tonight, the phone lines are open. 347-426-3682. That's 347-GAME-OVA. HighStakesFantasyFootball@gmail.com is the inbox. If you have any questions for us, now is the time to send them. I will be honest with you. I am producerless and audio engineerless tonight. I basically had to set up everything myself here. And
everyone's so
listen, I'm not asking for sympathy. What I'm telling you is if I screwed something up and the phone calls don't come in and they don't get through for some reason, that's why. Okay? if I don't get access to the inbox, that's why, because I screwed something up. So I am taking the blame for my screw-ups.
I think it's good.
It's going good so far. We spoiler alert to bring people behind the curtain, literally behind the curtain, as we are at the Horseshoe Casino here.
There actually are curtains here.
Just outside Louisville. We are on the stage at the showroom here, and we are the center of attention, and nobody's paying attention to us, which is...
There's not many people in the room, Balky.
There is the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship Keeper League is going on right now. That draft is going on. There's some other players holding court in the back. The auction players are milling in right now as we have two auctions that will start coming up in about an hour and a half here when we sign off.
Can I ask you, so is this different than a dynasty league with these guys, or is it a keeper, or what's the story?
I don't know the exact rules on the difference between. I think what it is with the keeper league, you can only keep, I want to say like 12 or 15 players or something like that for the KFFC keepers. And then they have this 15-round draft or whatever it is.
So what are the dynasty? How many?
The dynasty, there's no. I mean, you have to cut down your rosters by September 1st, but you can balloon up to whatever you want, and then it's 22 is the cut down, so you get to keep 22.
Yeah. All right.
So
Kentucky, they call leagues, they call them divisions. There's all sorts of weird vernacular differences down here.
Yes. Yep.
There's far south.
There's something called grits down here.
Grits. Yep. There's a Waffle House thing going on.
Something called molasses, which I was not aware of.
Bullet bourbon?
Yeah. But we have bullet bourbon up in northeast Wisconsin.
By the way, just 30 I went to what was that place?
Smoke and Rye.
Smoke and Rye. I went
which
there
is
earlier.
it's the bourbon bar that's actually located inside the casino. It's a fantastic place. They have live music there. I plan on hanging out there for a little bit after the auction tonight.
They specialize in this stuff. They have Bullet. They don't know how to spell Bullet properly.
Did they spell it Bulleit?
Yeah.
That is the name of the bourbon.
Oh, really? So they spell it differently?
The bourbon is spelled differently than the actual thing that goes in a gun.
No, well, I thought that it was spelled without the E, but maybe I'm mistaken.
No, I thought it was Bulleit.
I thought it was Bull.
This is why we need a producer, because our producer could be looking this up right now while we talk fantasy football, but we don't have it.
Hey, I'll look.
You got it?
No, it is. It's Bulleit.
All right. So there you go. Anyway,
here, can you pause it and delete that part?
Yeah, we'll edit.
Take it out.
We'll edit it out afterwards.
You won't.
The next round of FFPC early main event draft spots for teams for anybody who is paid in full by Tuesday, August 28th. I believe that's a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you get them on the 29th.
Yeah, next day.
I've put out some fake news on that to the FFPC people, but just to let you know, it is Tuesday on the 28th by midnight Pacific. If you're paid by then, you get your draft spots on the 29th. That will be the last draft spot announcement as the main event drafts start 1 week from today.
They start on the 31st.
They start on the 31st. Yeah. So, and then we'll you'll get your draft spots as the leagues fill up after that. For anybody who's waiting on their main event, league divisions or league assignments, roughly 95% of them will be sent out on Tuesday. So Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, check your inbox. You'll probably find out what league you're in then. Football Guys drafts are, of course, filling daily. We have plenty of those going up through the wee morning hours. Do we have anything we want to promote right now for anybody who's listening live?
Oh, there's drafts tonight. You can go on and check it out.
I know, but if there's anything pending that we need that you want to...
There's one with like 5 left. I'm not sure if we're going to get there, though, so I think we might have to cancel on that one.
All right, well, whatever. But check it out. There's plenty of them. They're basically going off every hour tonight. More of them fill than cancel, for sure. Room discounts at Planet Hollywood, that actually closes today. So if you want to get on that, hopefully you're listening live, and you can email or call Greg Sidoris, whose information is at myffpc.com. $10 week one viewing at any of the Caesars property, restaurant, lounges, and sports books as well. Best ball draft start at $35. We have live Dynasty startups going off. Is it this weekend, and then that's it?
There's some all the way up until September 5th, actually.
Okay, so they'll go up till September 5th. But if you want to, I had a buddy text me today. He said, "Hey, where can I get in on live Dynasty that you guys have? I know you talked about doing it. Yes, we do. They're live, and you can sign up through the September 5th. So there you go. Get to the Fantasy Flash, for God's sake. We're 7 minutes in. This is ridiculous. Dave Gerzak's,
it's almost like ESPN.
Dave Gerzak's head is exploding right now. I want to thank Draft Sharks, Football Guys, Roto World, Roto Pass, and, of course, Rob for tonight's rundown. Adam Teicher, the Kansas City Chiefs reporter for ESPN.com, reports that Sammy Watkins has had his best week of practice. He's had his best practice of the preseason. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is driving up Tyreek Hill after that big 60-yard bomb touchdown that we saw, and Tyreek Hill is still going in the first 3 rounds of FFPC drafts. But not a lot of people are paying attention to Sammy Watkins. He's not the most consistent guy in the world, but when he is running hot, he is running very hot, Dave. He is currently going at the 802 in FFPC best ball drafts right now, right around guys like Alshon Jeffrey, Jameson Crowder, Emmanuel Sanders, Robbie Anderson, Devin Funchess. You'd certainly argue that Watkins, out of all those players, has the highest upside and might represent a pretty good value at that 7-8 turn.
Yeah, actually, the Kentucky champ, Kurt All loves to take Sammy Watt. Every year he takes Sammy Watt. And I don't mind him. I mean, people have paid super expensive prices for him in the past. He's a pedigreed talent. He's now on a new team yet again. And
right.
Yet again. He's healthy. He's been battling injury problems this whole early part of his career. I think he's going to be in pretty good shape. I like him this year.
Sammy Watkins going at that 7-8 turn. There is, I guess, some concern knowing that he is going to a new offense, catching balls from a new quarterback, who, by the way, is a new quarterback for this team this year. And he obviously has to compete with targets for Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Kareem Hunt. There is some trepidation that I'm sure fantasy owners are having there. However, when you're looking for a pick-to-win player, when you're looking for a player that can really provide, some boom on your investment in the 7-8 turn, Sammy Watkins represents it. I don't often say that about Watkins, but I'm definitely saying it this year. Teron Davenport is reporting that Corey Davis, my boy, has been working in various roles this preseason, including some snaps
Water
in the
boy.
slot. No, not water boy. Well, maybe water boy. I don't know. He was hurt for a lot of his rookie preseason, Dave. So maybe they're giving him the rookie hazing this year. So maybe he is hauling some water for everybody.
Maybe
I don't know.
They taped him up to the goalpost.
They could have done that.
Give him a hinder binder.
Did you give him some? Wow. That is news to me. When I played high school football, we never did anything like that.
Did you guys call it that, by the way?
We didn't do it. No, I've never heard of a hinder binder before.
Would you pull up the underwear? What do they call that? What do they call it at your high school?
Grundy, I know it's talked about.
Right.
There's something else. There's some, and now it's escaping me.
It's actually probably good that it's escaping. I'm just kind of wondering what the terms were.
What the hell was it now? This is going to drive me nuts. Wedgie.
Oh, wedgie.
Wedgie, that's what it was.
That's the classic.
Yeah. Okay, I don't even know where I was going with this. But Corey Davis getting some work in the slot, and obviously he's being hyped up now in the preseason. He's looked very good. Marcus Mariota is having a good preseason.
Has Davis done anything in games
so far this year? Corey Davis hasn't. I'd have to look up what his stats were. I felt like he got held out that first game against the Packers.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up right now. But
he sat out the preseason opener.
Okay, so all right.
Then he suited up in a preseason loss, but failed to come up.
Yeah,
he up with he had one target, no catch.
Yeah.
All right.
So that happened in Tampa. I don't know how long.
It's so limited. It's such a small sample size.
Yeah. He right now, Dave, if you look at FFPC best ball drafts, he has risen all the way up to the 6-12, so he is going in the 6th round. Now he's going in areas
6th round.
At the end of the 6th. He's actually going right around some receivers that I like, a couple of receivers that you can make a pretty good case for drafting over him. Let's play a quick mini Would You Rather with Corey Davis with the two receivers that are both going in the 6th round with him. Would you rather have Corey Davis or Marquise Goodwin?
I'll take Davis.
I agree. And Corey Davis or Michael Crabtree?
I'll take Crabtree there.
I would take Davis still, just for the upside. I know Crabtree's going to get a lot of targets, but John Brown has really been getting hyped up. He's been making a lot of plays both in the games and practices for Baltimore. He's a guy to be paying attention to. And as long as we're bringing him up, I can tell you that he is not going until the 1306 of FFPC best ball drafts right now. So to get a guy like him he's going behind Deshaun Hamilton. He is,
wow.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. Oh,
he is moving up.
I take that back. Deshaun Hamilton has only been selected in one draft in the last 3 days for FFPC best ball. So that's a little skewed. But he's going behind Devontae Parker. He's going behind Mike Williams. I would rather have John Brown than both those guys this year. Jarvis Landry, let's talk about what he did last night against the Eagles.
Not much. 3
catches last night, but he did get 10 targets and was the focal point of the offense. While Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield were out there with the starters.
And Josh Gordon was out.
And Josh Gordon was obviously out. Now, he played in the slot with Miami over the last 4 years and obviously was fantastic. And that's I would imagine he'll be playing a somewhat similar role in Cleveland this year, Dave. You look at what we talked about, him potentially missing those targets that he saw in Miami with David Njoku, with Josh Gordon, with Duke Johnson in that offense as well. You have to consider that maybe that was a little bit overrated, and Jarvis Landry could end up being a top 12 receiver this year. He is going at the 4-5 turn right now in drafts. I think he's about a wide receiver at 20 right now. That seems low to me.
It does seem low, actually. I keep every draft. When I look at drafts, I find it hard for people to get. I just don't see people getting them like that. Like if I want to get him, I feel like I'm not going to get him.
He is exactly wide receiver 20. I just eyeballed that. I am dialed in. Everybody give up on the auction tonight because you are going to lose. Wow, wide receiver 20. He's going behind guys like Demaryius Thomas, Golden Tate, Juju Smith-Schuster. Dave, he's a guy, if you are maybe you start off running back heavy in your drafts and you end up taking in Ezekiel Elliott, David Johnson, Gurley, Bell, somebody like that in the first round, and then, somebody like Joe Mixon in the second round, you get Jarvis Landry as your number 2 receiver at that 4-5 turn. That's after, getting a guy like if you went a receiver like Mike Evans or T.Y. Hilton or Tyreek Hill. That's a really good way to start off a draft to get Jarvis Landry as your number 2 receiver. So I like that quite a bit, and I think he is being underdrafted right now. Potential ascendant candidate? He's not on the list, but we can add him. 4-5 turn?
I don't think he fits kind of the parameters that well.
And now that I said it out loud, he's already played in his third preseason game.
Right.
So it's going to be very difficult for him to leapfrog everybody up this weekend.
Yeah, I would agree.
His teammate, his real-life teammate, Josh Gordon, should be on the practice field very soon, according to head coach Hugh Jackson. This was an article from Mary Kay Cabot in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Gordon might be practicing as early as this weekend. He reported to the team roughly a week ago. He obviously, as Dave already mentioned, did not play in the game against the Eagles last night, and there's a chance he does not play in the preseason either. Dave, once again, for, what is it, the third straight year, Josh Gordon is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, smothered in secret sauce.
That's funny.
Josh Gordon going 3 spots behind Jarvis Landry right now at the 504. Let's play a Would You Rather with him. Would you rather have Jarvis Landry or Josh Gordon?
Landry.
I agree. Would you rather have Brandon Cooks or Josh Gordon?
Shoot. Cooks.
I agree, and they both are going at the 504 right now. Josh Gordon or Allen Robinson?
You know, I'm gonna take Allen Robinson coming off that injury. I actually feel kind of all right about him.
I agree. Josh Gordon or Chris Hogan?
Hogan. It's close though.
Yeah, it is close. I think I am leaning towards Gordon there. Josh Gordon or Marvin Jones?
I'm actually starting to like Marvin Jones a little bit. I'm gonna take Jones.
I would take Gordon. Why? Tell me what's changed for you with Marvin Jones.
Just some of the news reports have been saying Jones looks really, really, really good, and you know he's one of those guys who was a boring wide receiver 1 last year. Boring wide receiver 1. Well, hell, I'll take a boring wide receiver 1 being drafted at WRO at 28 or whatever he's being picked at.
Yeah, he is actually. Well, he's not quite 28, but he is 21 or 25 right now.
Close
so
enough.
Very close. Yeah. Okay. So Marvin Jones.
I mean, there's, Gordon has so much risk.
Him.
I mean, I like him and everything like that, but
the other thing to keep in mind with Marvin Jones, maybe what's driving him down. A lot of Kenny Galladay hype going on right now.
There's a lot of Galladay hype, but I mean, once the reality sets in, I mean, he's still the starter, and Stafford's an excellent quarterback. So
don't look it up. How many catches did Kenny Galladay have last year?
36.
28. Yeah.
Kind of close.
So this huge guy, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. Saquon Barkley remains out of practice on Wednesday. He caught some stationary passes, continued his rehab work on the side.
I think Barkley, we might be.
We're gonna have a guest.
We're
gonna bring him up in a second here. Art Stapleton from the Virgin Record reporting this. The Giants obviously going to be cautious with Saquon Barkley in the weeks leading up to the start of the regular season. And I guess for me, I'm a little nervous. I'd like to see him this weekend, but it remains to be seen whether that will happen, Dave. I know you don't like him in the first round, but I'm still on board as of right now.
I don't like who?
Saquon Barkley.
In the first round?
Yeah. Well, I mean, where he's going, the mid-first round. I should clarify
I don't dislike him there, actually.
Okay, well then why are you ripping on him every time I bring him up?
Because he's so hyped up. I have to keep it real here.
But you would still take. Okay, so he's hyped up.
The hype train is so ridiculous. And plus, you're talking about taking him like 3 or 4 or whatever.
That was like a month or 2 ago. Okay, so that's I may have changed on that right now. Let's. He's
a high quality player.
Right, I understand that. Let's bring in a guest tonight. I'm going to pass the mic here. A very special guest, a former guest of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour. He drove down here. Will be drafting in many leagues this weekend. It is one half of Team Ground and Pound. The Average Joe himself. Let's bring him on.
Yeah, the Average Joe.
Mr. Jeremy Roach. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's like Elvis.
He's a man of few words. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to seeing, not only in the preseason games, but doing in Kentucky this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He didn't want the detailed questions, Balky.
No, I know.
Come on. You
go
give me
on.
a fluff.
All right. I'll give you some fluff here.
This is an impromptu meeting.
Exactly.
Saquon Barkley
Talk about a player.
In the mid-first round. Are you on board with that?
Yes. Yes, I am. No, I do like him quite a bit.
Yeah, you're a big Barkley fan.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, Jeremy, I'm going to bring this over here to make it a little bit easier for both of us. Hey, here's the thing. You and Danny Mueller, who I saw earlier today. You guys, is he here? Oh, he's walking up right now. You guys have
take a potty break again.
You guys have done a lot of drafts this year. Do you have a lot of shares of Barkley?
Yes, I have a ton of them in the football, guys. Anytime. Well, as Dave knows, I'm the 7-Eleven man.
That's right. Jeremy only gets the 7 or 11 picks.
Every time.
Half the time you get the 7 or 11.
Every time.
And so that's prime Barkley territory.
I have him on almost every team because All I get is 7.
Yeah, I get it. No, and listen, I have already dug my nails in trying to claw some value for you guys so you're not stuck at that spot every time and I keep getting shut down.
Whatever.
I'm doing what I can.
So,
I'm working for you.
So for main events, or what, and we may be in a league together. I have no idea. Farrell, who the hell knows what's going on?
Right.
But so do you have a preference as to where you're going to end up in some of these spots?
Well, with the third round reversal, I actually like to be in the back end.
So you like that's like 10, 11 range or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
9 through 12 would be ideal.
It is kind of interesting in the main events, Kentucky. You'll get this, like, people bid up the 1 through 4, and then there's like this crap zone that no one wants, like 5, 6, 7, 8, and everybody's like 0, 0, 0, and then it's like 10, like 300. Because people pay money for like the 10, 11, 12
Well,
spots.
and Farrell always says, like, he always tells people, he's like, I hate drafting in the middle. I hate in the middle. That's got to rub off on some of the Kentucky players here, too, that they don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 6 spot. I'm going to grab Barkley in all my life.
I can tell you, I think I brought this up. A noted high-stakes player who I won't reveal here.
No one cares.
I'm not going to say it. But anyway, he's been saying for the last couple of months, he's loving the 6 spot. He loves being in the middle this year. That's where it's at for him.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Jeremy, you love the 7 spot, don't you?
He has no choice.
I have no choice.
Listen,
that's how life gives you.
If you are in any draft with Jeremy Roach and he has the 7 through 11 pick, you're basically playing for second.
No,
he knows
it's 7 or 11.
Oh, 7 or 11. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like a range.
So you're drawing
It's
bet.
become a running joke because it's happened so many times that I've gone the extra steps to point it out to Dave each and every time.
Yeah.
And at first, I'm sure he thought I was exaggerating. He can't ignore it now.
Yeah, it's totally legit.
And the other night,
it's kind of true.
The other night,
yeah,
I did 3 drafts.
Right.
The first 2, I got 7, then 11. And I signed up for a third, and I said, let's test this.
Yeah.
What was the draft spot on the third? 7.
It was 7.
Yeah.
It was 7. 3 drafts in one night, 7, 11, 7.
Well, I think it might. Let's see. So your name is. Hang on.
Yeah.
It might the randomizer.
Yeah.
Well,
it might have. Jeremy
all
Roach
messed up.
is 11 letters, by the
Oh,
way. I mean, that
interesting.
might be the randomizer.
Yeah.
Where's the 7 coming from?
We have no. Yeah. Who knows?
Roulette
Craps.
table, man. I'm telling you. No, not craps. Roulette.
Yeah.
Raps. That's right. We're gonna
We
play
need
for
to play roulette. 7 and 11.
Yeah,
Danny wants to come up.
Danny
Oh,
wants to come
all
up.
right, hello.
All right, I'm tagging out.
He's giving,
Tagging out.
he's
Come
giving
on.
you the hard
Come on.
pass.
Yeah, all right.
He's giving Danny Mueller, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Coming
Thank you.
on
Thank you
up.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate
Jeremy Roach.
All right.
Appreciate you coming by, man. The average Joe. The crowd's going crazy right now as one half of Ground and Pound steps off and starts prepping for his next draft. And
So which one is ground and which one is pound?
Well, let's welcome in one.
We never had it decided that.
Oh, that's right. All right, cool.
The other half of Ground and Pound, Danny Mueller, former guest of the show, former guest of the High Stakes Lowdown as well. Welcome, man.
Well, good to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. We're thrilled to be hanging out with you in Kentucky once again. We were talking about Saquon Barkley before with Jeremy, a young up-and-coming running back in the NFL. I want to literally flip the spectrum to the exact opposite and talk about Adrian Peterson and the fact that he might not even make the Redskins roster, with Jay Gruden saying that he's competing to be one of the team's first and second down guys. Peterson's contract not guaranteed unless he is on the roster for Week 1. This is all from a scathing report from Mike Florio at ProFootballTalk.com. Adrian Peterson, at this point in his career, Danny, is he that much better than Samaje Perine or Rob Kelly? I mean, can he offer that much more? And I know I'm talking to an Oklahoma fan, so try to put your biases aside and talk about Adrian Peterson.
Now, if I say something bad about Adrian Peterson, the entire state of Oklahoma will be up in arms at my door.
Our downloads are huge in Oklahoma. I think it's due to you. Yeah. No, but I mean, at this point, it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. I don't know is he a guy that you would even target in like the 12th, 13th round?
Myself, no.
No, you're staying away.
Yeah.
It's a young man's game, and
I'm gonna see what he's got.
Yeah.
He is a physical freak, though, no doubt about that.
If there's anybody that can pull it off, it's Adrian Peterson at this point of his career.
His metrics, according to the Pro Football Almanac, which I was just reading, were actually pretty poor the last time he played.
Oh, really?
He's already he's not only going downhill, he's already at the bottom. I think he's.
But the competition for carries there is not hot and heavy.
I mean, if you're average 2.8 yards a carry, who cares what the competition is?
Well, what if they give him 25 carries a game? All of a sudden, that's 75 yards a game or 70 yards a game, whatever it is.
No catches, 7.4 fine. That's still
All
something.
right, okay. So we're.
Johnson gets that in the second quarter.
I listen. I'm not targeting Adrian Peterson by any means, but I feel like I need to stick up for him at this point of him going in the 13th round of FFPC best ball drafts. But yeah, I mean it's.
Well, certainly as a Sooner fan, I'd like to see him do real well.
Right.
I would expect that he might do well for a game or two, kind of like he did in Arizona, and then just flame out.
Yeah, and that's entirely possible. I mean, obviously New Orleans gave up on him pretty quick. Of course, they had Alvin Kamara waiting in the wings there to take over for him. NFL.com's Ian Rappaport reports that the New England Patriots expected to release Kenny Britt, which he might have been already officially released at this point. So this is now Jordan Matthews gone, Julian Edelman suspended, Kenny Britt cut. There's Cordero Patterson, there's Philip Dorsett. Obviously Eric Decker there. Danny, as you look at those Patriots receivers next to Chris Hogan, is there a guy that you would be looking at later on in the mid to late rounds?
Well, I've drafted Edelman some, but there's a big risk, like in the FFPC, because he's going to miss those 4 games.
Right.
But I'm just not really high on any. I think they're going to be running back, tight end oriented offense. I think
sometimes we're looking for the magic bullet when bullets, in this case, Dave spelled B-U-L-L-E-T.
Oh, thanks.
We look for the magic bullet, and we're like, okay, well, maybe it's going to be Patterson, maybe it's going to be Dorsett, maybe it's going to be Decker. Maybe the most obvious answer, as you just said, Danny, maybe this means more targets for Gronk, more targets for maybe Michelle, more targets for Burkhead, or James White. Maybe James White's the beneficiary here. And, Tom Brady, getting up there in years, I don't think it's been affecting his accuracy at all. I mean, it just could be a short passing game that New England has so eloquently and effectively moved the ball with over the past few years, and it just could be a boon there. And the number 2 receiver in New England for those first 4 games might be fool's gold.
Well, I think Bill Belichick is kind of ahead of the curve and is incorporating a lot of college football, what you see in college football, a lot of RPO and so forth. So I think they're going to just find some mixture of guys that's going to produce. And even if you go back in time, I can't even remember the receivers they had before Moss.
In New England?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, there was Welker, obviously.
Before the Welker thing,
Brandon, who's the Brandon guy that we always ripped on?
Lloyd.
Brandon Lloyd was there, yep.
Like a year ago.
Deion Branch, sure, yeah.
They just had a bunch of guys that were just kind of mid-level prospects.
Yeah.
They still produced.
Replacement level that still got it done.
On an NFL level, but
right.
not so much fantasy football-wise.
Yep, totally agree.
DeAndre Washington underwent a scope on his knee, will not be available in tonight's game, actually. It's Friday already, my gosh. According to head coach John Gruden, Michael Gelkin had this report in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. DeAndre Washington might be a cut at this point. You look at the Raiders, they have Lynch, they have Doug Martin. But, Danny, the guy that's really looked good, especially in the last preseason game, Chris Warren. I mean, just out of nowhere, just running roughshod over that defense. He looked really good. As far as like a best ball, he might be a good late-round pick. Even in redraft out here where you're looking for lightning in a bottle those last few rounds, Chris Warren might be an interesting guy given that the 2 guys ahead of him were both somewhat ineffective last year and getting up there in age.
Chris Warren, he's the guy who was from Texas, wasn't he?
Correct,
That's
yep,
what I was thinking.
yeah.
Of course, I've seen a little bit of Texas football being from Oklahoma.
Red River rivalry.
Yes. So I remember 2 years ago and 3 years ago being really impressed with this running back, Chris Warren.
Right.
And I expected big things out of him 2 years ago. And then, who's this Deontay Foreman? and whatever happened to Chris Warren? And last year he's supposed to, or the big back of Texas, and they still didn't see anything.
Right.
And I always thought he was a big talent. And he's a big kid.
I think he came out early, actually, and just wasn't drafted because he had a problem with the coaching
Chris Warren,
staff.
yeah. And it was a new coaching staff. Was that Tom Herman's first year last year in Texas, or had he been there a couple of years already? I'm drawing a blank on that one.
No, last year was his first
Last
year.
year's the first year, okay. All right. So, I mean, Chris Warren looking for a fresh start. The Raiders' offensive line is certainly, at a minimum above average. Maybe he is a pick to win. I hesitate to say he could be this year's Alvin Kamara, but certainly there could be something there on an NFL level. He could be another case of a rookie running back that is a much better pro than he ever was in college. Final thing that we want to get to here tonight before we start talking about the Ascendant is I don't
we
guys.
need some help, by the way.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell we're
well, we're
doing.
gonna for the second straight year we're gonna crowdsource the Ascendant and figure it out. I was really surprised when I saw this. It kind of came out of nowhere. ESPN.com's Brady Henderson reports Rashad Penny has added 16 pounds on to his weight since the NFL Combine. He was at 220 there. He now weighs 236 pounds.
Oh, he's fat.
Do you think that's what it is?
I don't know.
It's not muscle, it's fat?
They don't say what it is?
No.
It's water weight.
It's water weight. Yeah,
He's bloated.
he's cutting weight for the Combine. Yeah, I'm not going to go there, but semi.
So he's your Ascendant?
No, he is definitely not.
He's a
I
descendant.
can
We can come up with tons of descendants.
Yeah.
This is what we should do next
He's
year.
plunging for sure. Rashad Penny is not a guy I want to be in business with this year. I don't know if, there's just so many red flags there. The Seattle offensive line, his pass protection, the finger injury, Chris Carson's Ascendant. I can't find a good reason to draft Rashad Penny this weekend, Danny.
It's scary.
It's not good.
I'm not sure where to draft him now.
Yeah. Chris Carson, though, is looking good. You on board with him?
He's not on your Ascendant list, by the way.
Well,
we can put him on there.
What's funny, I've seen a little bit of Oklahoma State football.
Uh-huh.
And when I watched him for the last 3 or 4 years he was there, when he come in the game, I was happy.
Right. Yeah.
Bear in mind, we was playing against him.
Right.
He was like 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him stop 4 times at the goal line from the 1 yard.
Right.
So I was more fearful of the other running backs. But I got to admit, he looks. Sometimes players emerge in the pros. They're late bloomers.
And you can't explain it. There's no rational reason for it. It's one of those things, and Chris Carson could be one of those things.
I actually drafted him for the first time last night.
Where did you take him last night?
I can't remember.
But it was obviously, he's been rising up draft boards. I can tell you right now that over the last 3 days in FFPC best ball drafts, he's going at the 801. He's gone as high as the 601, and he's never slipped past the 1003. So you're looking at kind of the honey pot for him is between the 6 and the 10 pick right now. He'll probably go, I would imagine, a little bit higher out here because he is a hyped pick, and obviously there's no tight end premium scoring out here.
Running backs fall here a little bit, especially
when
they're at the premium. Yeah, because the wide receivers go so crazy high.
Yeah, that is true. The receivers do get pushed up every year.
Fly here.
So you could get a starting running back in like the 8th or 9th round in Chris Carson. Do we have any argument about that Chris Carson is the starting running back for the Seahawks going into the season? It's hard for me.
That way, no, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Last man standing.
Yeah, exactly. CJ Procise, we hardly knew you. So moving on from that. All right, guys, it is we're halfway into the show right now.
And forcing Danny to stick around for this.
Danny, you can stick around for the Ascendant candidate. We'd love to get your input.
Have fun this weekend, and he's stuck doing this.
I know. He's like, oh man, they roped me into this.
We're supposed to be out there heckling you guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we brought you up here. Yeah, we brought you up here to make sure that you couldn't heckle from out there, which is, I'm sure, what Jeremy and he's talking to Two-Packer right now, the mascot of the show. I'm sure they're prepping something awful for us. So the 2018 Ascendant. We're going to make the announcement now. The reason we're starting the conversation so early is because we have so many to get through. For anybody who is not familiar with the Ascendant, this is something we came up, I don't believe our first year on the air. It's probably like year 2 or 3. This is a player that seems to shoot up 2, maybe 3 rounds, and it's usually a younger running back. It's been a receiver before. It's usually a younger player who we don't quite know his ceiling. And he shoots up to maybe round 2, round 3. Sometimes round 1, although I don't think we've ever had a round 1 Ascendant before. That has been the criteria. Dave, I know every time I try to explain it, I leave something out. Is there anything I'm leaving out here that you would like to?
It's a player that we generally like, and we think you should be drafting. He's a hyped-up player that we think you should still take a look at.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be round 1 or 2. I mean, we had Tyreek Hill last year, who ended up being a fantastic pick, mind you, and he was going a little bit later than that, but he worked out really well. It's still a value at where he was being taken.
Now,
we've had plenty of crappy. Well, we had some crappy ones. We've had mostly good ones.
Yeah, I mean, well, because here's the thing. You and I've always, see, that's the way you've done your Ascendant. I've always been like, okay, the Ascendant is somebody, regardless of what we think, he's a guy that's going to be rising, Yeah,
I mean, what are we doing the show for?
Well, we're telling you who's going to rise. I get it. No, it's fine. So Rob put.
I asked the same question. Anyway.
Okay, yes, thank you. Rob put out a Twitter poll, and it got 203 votes. And the names he put out there, he kind of asked me, and I gave him 3 names. And obviously, I got castigated on Twitter for that.
That was a good job. You did that on purpose, right?
No, I gave him 3 names that I thought should be,
okay.
ascended candidates. So I told him Stephon Diggs, Royce Freeman, and Josh Gordon. 203 votes, 51% voted Stephon Diggs, 34% Royce Freeman, 15% Josh Gordon. Now, clearly...
51 what?
51, 34, 15, percentage-wise. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So that was not enough. Somebody named, some jerk named at David Gerzak said, these choices suck. So I was like, well, clearly we need to crowdsource this more.
Yeah, 3 choices.
I don't have all the Twitter names and all the names in front of me, but I collected a bunch of them, and we'll kind of break down here. Now, here's the way we'll do this. We're going to go through it by alphabetical order, and if there's a player that we're not going to name it, we're not going to say yes, he's the ascendant. We're either going to say okay, he's maybe or he's a no. Okay, and that's the way we'll do it.
No or maybe.
For the first round. Yeah. So I have 19 names on here because we added Chris Carson.
I see a bunch of interesting ones.
So the first one, a lot of these were suggested by players on Twitter. Martavis Bryant. He is going at the 1802 right now in FFPC best ball.
Too late.
Okay, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Running back for the Baltimore Ravens, Alex Collins, currently going at the 312.
You can leave him on the list, I guess.
I agree. Corey Davis, the aforementioned Corey Davis, who, listen, be still my beating heart. Corey Davis at the 612. Okay, we'll leave him on the list. Stephon Diggs, who won the Twitter poll, he is going at the 307 right now.
Yep.
Then you have Kenyon Drake, running back for the Miami Dolphins, 312.
Sure, I think that's okay.
Royce Freeman, we'll leave him up there.
Sure.
Okay. Will Fuller.
No.
Okay. Well,
I don't like him.
Okay, you don't like him. I
refuse to put him on.
That's fine. Listen. I'm not. If we're going by the old Eric Balkman rubric,
maybe he's not a fantastic.
He is not moving up from the 901 up to a big round. Marquise Goodwin.
Where does he go?
I can tell you. I think he is at the mid-6th. I want to say he is going at the 606. How about that? I am dialed in, baby.
Wow, you are. I mean, if he goes like 8 for 144 and 3 touchdowns tomorrow, I think he's got a shot. But I don't really think it's going to happen.
I got 5 on that. Not happening.
I would say he's a little bit low, too low.
Too low? We got enough, maybe. We have stronger candidates ahead of him, so I'm fine with getting rid of him. Josh Gordon, who made the Twitter poll, third place on the Twitter poll. My guess is no, and I don't think he plays week 4 either.
I actually think Gordon is worth eliminating, but you can leave him on there. But I don't think there's any chance he actually is the assignment.
Okay, if there's no chance, then let's say, Danny, you be the tiebreaker. Should we leave him on as a possibility, or should we leave him on? Okay, we'll leave him on. We'll leave him on. Derrick Henry, running back for the Titans.
He was like the early fourth.
He dropped, obviously, after the Deion Lewis signing. 406 is where he's settled in right now. I'd leave him on. Sure. Especially, here's the thing. Deion Lewis is like a walking injury waiting to happen. If he goes down, slips in the shower wrong, Derrick Henry might be a second-round pick. So we'll leave him on. Kerryon Johnson, I know you want to leave him on for sure.
Yeah, I think that's
your early leader in the Dizzle clubhouse.
He's someone to talk about.
Okay.
He's getting hyped up. That's one of the main criteria.
Here's an interesting test of said criteria. Christian McCaffrey.
He's going in the first at this point. He's so damn good. He's transcended the ascendant.
Right. He's the transcendent.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He's the transcendent.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all awesome.
Could he be the descendant, though? Is there any chance of that?
No, I don't
because now he's up there. All right, so we'll get rid of him?
Yeah, had we done this 3 weeks ago or whatever, maybe.
Right.
Too late.
We have to talk about the timeline for next year when you want to announce this, because we made a...
His first name is Christian. He's already ascended up into heaven.
Yeah, that's very funny. Why can I not find our next... Oh, here he is. I'm spelling it wrong. There's only... Okay, forget it. 301 right now for Jerick McKinnon.
I think Jerick has one R in his first name.
He does. I was spelling it wrong. I know how to spell Bullet Bourbon. I do not know how to spell Jerick McKinnon. Yeah. So yes or no for McKinnon as a maybe or a no?
Seems to me like he might be dropping.
He's descending.
Yeah, well,
okay. So take him off. Okay, fair enough. Guys, Joe Mixon.
He's been up and down.
Yeah, I don't know about.
He is going well.
I don't see him moving much.
That's the thing. It's like he's kind of plateaued out, and I don't know if he's able to.
I think Mixon's like
211 is where he's going right now.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to be. I don't see him moving up.
No.
Anywhere from the 203 to 305 is where he's going. Yeah. No, I'm fine. Let's eliminate him.
And Njoku.
David Njoku. What about him?
Great catch, by the way, and almost got that touchdown yesterday.
Yep.
I'll leave him on there. Just to prep FPC, it's tight premium.
Okay,
What do you think?
No, leave him on.
Leave him on. All right. Yeah, you guys are in a good mood here tonight.
He jumped up 2 or 3 runs.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Someone knows.
Yeah.
So I think Juju's kind of stabilized. He's already been drafted, like the early 4th, late 3rd?
406.
Okay. I mean, I like Juju a lot. I'm a huge fan. Is he going to move, though? I mean, Brown's healthy.
He's gone as high as the 307. I don't know if he can make. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If he moves up, he will be leapfrogging guys like Amari Cooper, Larry Fitzgerald, Doug Baldwin, Thielen, Diggs.
He's just someone I advise you to take, but I don't think he's moving up.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, let's get through Trubisky next. No.
Okay, no Trubisky.
I can't even believe he made the thing.
We just added Chris Carson, so he has to be a maybe.
Yeah, Chris Carson's on there.
And then the last one is Chris Thompson, Washington running back, not the Houston receiver.
Well, in drafts, he's jumped up quite a bit here recently.
Sure.
But I don't think he really meets that quite. I mean,
he's not quite up high enough.
Yeah, he's not high enough.
Yeah.
604 gone as high as the 403 over the last 3 days. Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know if he can. I mean, dude, you're talking about like a 3-round jump for him to be. Okay, so we'll get rid of him.
Probably gonna miss half the season.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, not for sure, but yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break from the Ascendant Talk, and we're gonna bring in Danny's thoughts on the talk that dominated the ride down to Kentucky. Vikings receivers, Adam Thielen v. Stephon Diggs. Who have you been drafting more this year between those two, Danny? Between Thielen, Diggs? Now, why do you like Diggs more than Thielen? Just to get your thoughts on that. What separates him?
Well, I think he's a more talented player.
Okay.
And it looks like Kirk Cousins is zoning in on him.
Okay. And now, what Thielen?
I like Thielen too, but I've been drafting Diggs before Thielen.
It's tough to get both of them. You know, you basically.
I could be lying since we're going to be doing this.
Yes, that's totally true.
So in just as we were looking up the stats from last year. Now, granted, this year is different than last year, and new quarterback and all that. But Thielen outproduced Diggs. I mean, Diggs had 14 games. Thielen had 16. But he had about 8.875 targets. I think we determined for Thielen per game. Diggs was in the 6 range, and Thielen had 26 more catches, and it was a number. It was like 1,200 plus yards or 1,100 yards versus like 860 or something like that. So it was
I thought he had like 1,400. I mean,
well, it was a massive gap in production. It was like 300-400 yards in production. So I mean, that's what we were having. That we were struggling. It's like Thielen totally outproduced Diggs last year. And
yeah, you're right. 1,276. I'm such an idiot. I'm not dialed in at all.
865. So like trying to make up that gap from year over year, and you think that's going to happen? And then both you talked about regression to the mean, but Diggs had 8 touchdowns and Thielen only had 4. So actually, I would almost argue that given how they scored touchdowns, that Thielen didn't have enough, even though maybe Thielen's just not the red zone threat that Diggs is.
Well, they're so close to each other. I mean, if you pick Thielen, it's not a bad pick.
Right.
It's just if I had the choice between the two, I've been choosing Diggs, mainly because of the change in the offensive coordinator, the Kirk Cousins, and what I've been hearing in camps and so forth. And
Cousins hit him 3 for 35 in a touchdown in that preseason game, so he definitely likes him.
Let me give you the hottest of hot takes. They're both busts. They're both busts this year, and Laquan Treadwell is a Pro Bowler. That's my hot take.
Freezing cold takes eventually.
Yeah. Well, that might be sticking in the snow in Siberia with how fast that could cool off.
Hey, I heard on another podcast that the light has come on
for Treadwell. I feel like I've heard that before. He's getting into the Devontae Parker hype territory. That this is the year, with Treadwell. I can't get on board with Parker. But you know what? Treadwell he's super cheap right now. So let's just say this.
For good reason.
Let's play this out.
Drafted.
2701 in FFPC best balls right now, and then over the last 3 days, he's been selected in 1 draft. So we'll leave it at that.
He goes up 2 rounds.
You're right. Yeah.
Well,
did you sign it?
No, he's not. He's definitely not. Okay. So guys, let's get back to the Ascendant talk here. We had 19 names on here. We've successfully eliminated 9 of them. So now we're down to the top 10 of who FFPC players should be
make a bracket out of 10
paying attention to. Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to do? Could this be the final round, or do you want to go through it again with maybes and
5 names.
Try to eliminate 5?
5 or 6.
Okay. So who are the? I'm going to read it for the listeners. Well, let's try to eliminate 5.
Hey, this is you guys' show.
Well, I know, but Danny, you're the target demographic, so we want to make sure you're getting involved in this. So this is the
people who play fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. This is the list we're left with: Alex Collins, Corey Davis, Stephon Diggs, Kenyon Drake, Royce Freeman, Josh Gordon, Derrick Henry, Kerryon Johnson, David Njoku, Chris Carson. Who are the 5 weakest ascendant candidates on that list that I just read? Now we have to take draft capital into this as well, draft value, because that's going to play a role in how far these guys can move up.
I have a few
that you'd like to eliminate. Submit for elimination.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, Alex Collins, I'd like to eliminate because Alex Collins, Kenyon Drake, and Derrick Henry, and the reason is that I don't see anything really distinguishing them. Drake is held back a little bit by Frank Gore. Gore's not going anywhere. He's not getting hurt. Collins, everyone kind of knows his role. I mean, he's the starting running back for the Ravens, and he's being drafted as such. So I don't see him moving up necessarily. There's nothing you're going to discover about Alex Collins. And Derrick Henry's held back by Deion Lewis, who's being drafted in that similar type area. So those are the 3 candidates that I argue for that.
Drake and Collins both going in the 3rd round right now. How much higher are they going to rise this weekend?
It's kind of like a lot of times you get to choose between those 2, I think.
Yep.
Like, do I like Drake or do I like Collins or do I like neither? You guys, I think, like Henry sometimes. I've seen you take him a little bit.
No, we've never taken
No?
him.
Okay, it's my fault.
Different Danny Mueller.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not tracking your teams, obviously, so this goes to show.
I will say this. They're both going at the 312 right now, Dave. There's another running back that goes with the 312 with them, and it is one Shady McCoy. So that is an interesting little pocket of running backs going at the end of the 3rd round.
Well, and honestly, and Shady McCoy's not on this list, but if all of a sudden something came out where the news is like, oh yeah, McCoy's fine.
No charges filed,
yeah,
or she recants her statement.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, he still plays for the Bills. A team is probably going to struggle to win 4 or 5 games this year.
What is going to happen in 2 weeks would make these guys jump around or 2.
Exactly. I don't see
All right. I am totally on board with eliminating Alex Collins, Kenyon Drake, as well as Derrick Henry. Okay. So there you go. Now
we're down to 7.
We're down to 7.
I feel like I did my work.
Okay. So let's talk about. I'm trying to find the non-explosive players on this list, and there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of high ceilings. Maybe we can talk about, I don't even know, guys. Royce Freeman. I mean, he's probably the most vanilla guy left on this list. Do we want to put him through to the final round?
Well, here's the case for Freeman is that he's supposedly battling Devontae Booker for the starter position. They have a pretty darn good defense. He's looked explosive in preseason. He had a really nice run that he bounced to the outside. So
right.
That's where that touchdown. Yep. He was drafted the 3rd round, but a lot of people thought he should have been drafted sooner. Super productive in college. And in the
NFL draft, he should have been drafted higher.
Right. Drafted higher. And a lot of dynasty guys, I mean, we run 200-plus dynasty leagues. A lot of astute dynasty players were drafting Freeman in that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range, and they were all like, they were loving it. They're like, oh, give me Freeman. That's a pretty high place to take a guy who's a 3rd-round pick. So and Booker's pretty pedestrian. He's a 4th-round pick, so he's nothing great. So I think if he has another strong game, Booker does average. I think Freeman's I think he's a pretty good candidate.
Running backs, he would have to jump over to raise. The 3 guys.
He's going a little higher.
The 3 guys that we already mentioned,
right.
Which Danny, you eloquently pointed out. Look, what's going to happen to these guys to vault them up? Probably nothing.
Right.
Freeman has the opportunity to move ahead of Henry, Collins, Drake, and then we kind of know what we have in LaShawn McCoy. We don't exactly know what we have in Royce Freeman.
True.
So I mean, maybe the ceiling is a little bit higher there too, and definitely, he doesn't have the legal issues that LaShawn McCoy is potentially facing right now. I think we got to keep him on.
Okay.
I wanted to eliminate him. Got to keep him on. What about the winner of the poll, Stephon Diggs?
I don't know. What do you guys think? Go ahead.
He was a guy that made it all the way to the final round last year too in our Ascendant talk. And Danny, I know you've been taking him more than Adam Thielen. As far as where he's going currently, it is the 307. So for him to move up, I could see him moving past Hilton. I could see him moving past Hill, even Mike Evans to a certain degree. I don't know if he can get past. I can't see him moving past A.J. Green, who would be the next guy on that list. So
he's probably already maxed out.
That's my take.
It's tough for me to see him going higher.
Unless Thielen tears an ACL, he's not going anything.
Right.
He had that first game where he caught the touchdown and he caught all those passes. He suddenly just jumped up the boards.
Right.
So he's already kind of moved. I think he's at where he's at.
So we can eliminate him. I mean,
he's held back by Thielen, like we were kind of talking
right.
about the other.
Yeah.
All right. So Diggs is out.
All right.
Twitter.
All right. Moving on. Josh Gordon? It's tough.
He's held back by himself.
He's held back by himself. And the other thing is, if you ask me right now, if you ask a lot of people around the NFL right now, they're probably going to tell you that Josh Gordon doesn't play in the third preseason game or the fourth. Well, he didn't play in the third preseason game, and he's probably not going to play in the fourth preseason game. What's going to cause him to bump up from the fifth, sixth round?
Yeah,
so
I mean, he may be a fantastic pick. He may end up being a super value, but there's really nothing that I think is going to move him too much.
What's the most positive report we can hear about Josh Gordon that would not take place on a football field?
The former pot test was erroneous and mistake, and he's now off the program.
Okay, you say that a little tongue-in-cheek, but let's say that happens. How much is that going to bump him up?
It might be a bit. The fact is that he actually, the fact that he had to take time off for personal counseling, and God bless him, I hope he does well in life. It's a little bit of a problem if you're being just strictly greedy for your fantasy teams, right?
Well, this too, Tyrod Taylor got injured. We don't know how bad he was injured.
Very true.
I thought I saw a dislocated finger today, but it was on his non-throwing hand.
But we still don't know. There's some
right. Yeah. No, there's some nebulousness.
They're not going to play him in the next game.
Right.
And so we're not going to see resolution of that for. So he might be having Baker Mayfield, who I actually really love.
Yeah, I know you love Baker Mayfield. Yes.
I love
Mayfield.
Me, I think that raises upside.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Oh yeah, I love Mayfield. I'm so pissed I don't have Mayfield.
Yeah, I know. That's one of those things. Okay.
Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar Jackson too. I'm so mad.
Shall we cross off Josh Gordon from our list?
Yeah.
Make your case for your boy Kerryon Johnson here.
He's getting tons of hype. Part of the problem, though, with Kerryon Johnson, he's got all these other running backs to deal with. But, I mean, everyone says he looks fantastic. And he has to move up. I mean, he might be a player who moves up from the 7th to, like, the third, fourth range. And that, I think, definitely would qualify.
Right.
So that's why, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no problem if you guys want to cross him off. I really don't have a problem.
He is at the 608 right now, so he has moved up a little bit. He could move up more. You'd like to think that he is going to get run in the preseason because he is a rookie and they want to get him the reps. Is he going to move up to ascendant category? That I'm not sure because that running back situation is murky.
Are we talking about ascendant before the first week of the NFL or ascendant by the end of the season?
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point. It's like if you talk about which of these players might be taken really early next year, Kerryon Johnson might be that player that actually is that guy. But I think, maybe not for our purposes here. Let's take him off.
Take him off?
Sure,
okay. Well, a little bit of an upset there, but we have to call the list somehow.
Gives up on
someone. Okay, so now we are down to 4 players. Let's talk about the guy we just added, Chris Carson. Before or during the podcast, we added him.
Brandon Hickey, what he thinks.
Well, he's going to say, "Don't you dare take Chris Carson off that list." Chris Carson going at the 801 in FFPC drafts right now. We talked about Danny, you said last man standing. And C.J. Procise is hurt. Rashad Penny is recovering from that finger injury, although I think he did practice. He's returned at certain parts of practice. You have to think that Chris Carson is going to be a bell cow right now in that offense. And you look at what he's able to bring to the table as far as an ascendant going at the 801. He has the potential to move up significantly, but he is being drafted significantly later than some of these other guys. So that's kind of where we stand. That's the Chris Carson story.
What's the AP?
801.
I think that's really low. I think he actually might move up 2 or 3 rounds.
I agree, but is that ascendant worthy if he's a 5th round pick?
I think
we'll keep him on. He's got the potential.
Well,
and the only
what if they have their preseason game this weekend and he goes out there and scores a couple of touchdowns?
Yep. Yeah, or catches 3 or 4 passes, rushes for 60, 70 yards, which is entirely possible.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go to Njoku. Njoku's already played for week 3 preseason.
Right.
Had a nice catch. It was almost a touchdown. He drove like 11 yards and he needed 12 and almost got there. I don't know. I mean, do you think he's moving up beyond where he's at?
Well, Danny, this is a guy that you wanted to keep on the list for after the first round. Talk a little bit about why he should still be under consideration here.
Just in drafts, I know he's jumped up to a couple rounds.
He definitely has.
Yeah.
He's moved up even more since then.
Yeah.
So.
And he continues to get targets from both Taylor and Mayfield.
I don't see him going in the 1st or 2nd round,
right?
Like the Gronk and Kelsey's and all that. But he's definitely a riser.
702 right now in drafts. He has been going as early as the 506. So, like you said, he's rising up boards. I mean, he's a guy that could make it. Here's what's working against him. we've already seen the third preseason game. He's probably going to be placed under bubble wrap for that final game. I don't know if we'll have the opportunity to see.
I don't see him getting into the Greg Olsen type territory, right? Like moving up. Although Delaney Walker's got a bum toe. There's some warts on some of those guys that go right in front of him. So.
Yeah, Delaney Walker still doesn't return to practice. Greg Olsen going at the 404 right now. Jimmy Graham at the 403.
I don't see him quite getting to that territory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can eliminate him.
He could end up producing to that level.
He might be a Kerryon Johnson type guy, Danny, where at the end of the season, like he could,
second, third round pick.
He totally could be. He could totally bust out this year.
I should be drafting all these guys. Write these down.
Yeah, we shouldn't be crossing them off. We should be circling
Johnson,
them. David Njoku, Chris Carson.
Wait for this auction tonight, fellas.
Well,
Start tossing up in Dynasty.
Slayers to talk up before you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
This is all part of the. Oh, we'll come on your little podcast and poison your minds before the auction, before Kentucky weekend.
Balky's boy who scored 0 touchdowns last year in the regular season.
Moving all over the formation right now, playing some in the slot. Richard Matthews recovering from this meniscus thing. And Delaney Walker with the bad toe. I don't know, guys. I'm just telling you, this was a top 5 overall pick last year. He's got the pedigree. He's got Marcus Mariota throwing him the ball. I got a sneaking suspicion he could be in for a big 2018.
You're talking about Corey?
Corey Davis. Yes. Clearly, you do not share my feelings.
No.
That's awesome.
No, he's actually been rising up boards,
right.
Even though he really hasn't produced in the preseason.
He's done nothing.
We're waiting for him to show it, and he hasn't done it yet.
It's been all hype.
That's kind of weird. Kind of like last year when he did nothing. He did well in the playoffs, right? He had 2 good games.
Two touchdowns in the playoffs against New England. That vaunted Patriot secondary.
What?
Yeah. I was wondering if anybody picked up on that. Going at the 612 right now in drafts.
I don't see him moving up into the 3rd or 4th round myself.
Okay. All right. I'm outvoted on that one. That's fine.
Unless he scores, gets his 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, right? It's a 2 touchdowns theory.
Did we eliminate David Njoku and I just forgot to cross him off?
I don't know if we did. So we right now we have Chris Carson,
Yep,
Royce Freeman, and Njoku still sitting around.
Yep, that's it.
So what the hell are we gonna do?
I don't know. We gotta crowdsource this from somebody else.
Go to a break? Oh wait,
we can't go to break. Yeah.
I think.
Okay, in the truest form of the ascendant,
right.
We talked about a player that was going in the 4th or 5th round that could move up to the 2nd or 3rd.
That's got to be Freeman.
Okay, clearly.
That's it.
Chris Carson is not moving up to the 2nd or 3rd.
Correct. It's Freeman.
David Njoku is not moving up to the 2nd or 3rd round. If we're going by that old rubric.
Yeah, we're old. We like stuff that's old, and we've been around.
All right.
So it's Royce Freeman.
Danny, can you sign off on no, not literally sign off.
You're licensed CPA, right? You didn't do this.
Notary public?
Yeah, do you have a notary?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
in
good.
my office. Yeah.
No, left it in Oklahoma. Yeah. Royce Freeman, are you on board with him over Carson and Njoku as the ascendant?
This is you guys.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Out there
because
curious who you guys were going to pick.
Yeah, this is our show.
This is our show, and we're not going to change it. No, but the reason we ask you is because when your defense of Royce Freeman is like, listen, you guys run this show, you do what you want to do. I feel like you're not fully on board with the Freeman pick, and you like somebody else better.
No.
No?
Not necessarily true.
Okay, I know it's not. Okay, see now.
He scores a couple of touchdowns. He may jump up to. Right.
He should. Yeah, I think that's clear. So I guys, my final vote here will be for Royce Freeman that submitted. Okay. And Danny, here's your choice.
Cares? Move on.
You can vote for Royce Freeman, or you can politely abstain.
Laquan Treadwell.
Treadwell. All right. Well, it was a narrow vote, ladies and gentlemen, but Royce Freeman beats out Laquan Treadwell. Dan, are you excited for this weekend? Kentucky drafting?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great. Everybody should come to this.
It gets you lubed up for Vegas.
I think you guys should take this idea and start doing something like it in Vegas.
We're doing what?
What's that? Having fun?
Yeah.
A main event type.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's a good idea.
It's really lacking. You know,
We should do over the opening weekend instead of now.
That would be good. My concern is I feel like Planet Hollywood is probably already booked up with some ragtag convention out there already.
And have drafts after the Thursday night football game.
That would be great. Oh, you know what we should do? Get everybody together for an opening game viewing party. We can watch that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it's all free. We do it for free. You get a viewing party. You get a viewing party. You get chicken wings. You get chicken, whatever. on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up here and get ready for the. Are you in the auction tonight, Danny?
No.
You're not. Okay, so you're just scouting.
Jeremy's the auction guy. I'm doing the main event.
So you're drafting the main event tonight. Jeremy's in the. I got it. Okay, all right. So fair enough. So Jeremy will be in. There he is piping in again. Did you get educated by Two-Packer, or did you educate him? Okay, interesting. Okay, all right. I'll have to find out what happened there. There's a lot going on. The Keeper League, it looks like, has wrapped up as they prep for both the auctions and the main event that will be starting momentarily. Okay, so in case you missed it, Royce Freeman is our 2018 Ascendant. I want to thank Jeremy Roach, Danny Mueller, Dave Gerzak, the FFPC, Rob Bryce, and of course all of each and every one of you. I will say this. This is our last show now until September 14th. We are off next week because Dave and I are busy commissioning the Football Guys Labor Day Draft-a-thon, which will be donating a portion of each league thank you, Danny, appreciate it. We'll be donating a portion of each league to, and I should have remembered this off the top of my head.
It's the Brain Tumor Association.
Yes, thank you. The Brain Tumor Association is
it's American Brain Tumor Association, very dear to Alex, actually.
Yes, so we will be donating a portion of each league to that for every league that fills that weekend. It's a good cause. Hopefully you can get in on it. And I'll tell you what, maybe you could win some money drafting that weekend as well. So we will be off next week. And then the following week, Dave and I are hard at work at the FFPC live events at Planet Hollywood. And I will say, if you do want to still get involved in on that, take advantage of the discount that will run for basically the next few hours. And then still contact Greg Sidoris because he might still be able to hook you up. But the earlier the better on that. We have some live main events that are going on out there, Dave, that still they're filling fast, but if you're looking for a live main event, what is the time we're looking for right now?
Let's see, Thursday morning or Friday afternoon. Those are the two primary times we could use some folks.
All right, so Thursday morning, Friday afternoon, if you want to jump into a live main event league. Of course, the online main events, you can still sign up for those. And then some super brackets still available. Everything else is sold out, but there are some choices still if you want to hop in the game late. That is going to do it for our show. So we will take a few weeks off. I want to remind everybody out there to go ahead and go to my FFPC. Last thing I'll say, Kevin Williamson, who I believe we'll see this weekend, just tweeted at the HSFF Hour a tweet from Cecil Lammy who said, "Stop me if you've heard this before. Devontae Booker runs into the backs of his blockers. # Broncos." Cementing our Royce Freeman selection as Ascendant tonight. So hopefully we did good. Hey, we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks, everybody. Good luck on all your drafts, and may the force be with you.
Zip it up.
Get to Old Navy 2 days only, today and tomorrow. Get a full 50% off all Old Navy Active for the family. Shorts, tees, leggings, all Old Navy Active is 50% off at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 8/25 to 8/26, excludes in-store clearance.
Hardee's Happy Hour isn't your average happy hour. From 2 to 5 p.m., double sliders are only $1.25. Call it a charbroiled hour, a double beef hour, a whole lot of melty cheese hour. Call it what you want. Happy Hour at Hardee's is a good call. Offer for a limited time and only between 2 and 5 p.m. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included.